A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel, The Twin Flame Union. In this channeling session, we are going to be talking about the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminines, mirroring energies in opposite polarity. Now let's understand, before I go any further, what is opposite polarity and what is mirroring as well. Because a lot of people feel that in the twin flame journey, mirroring is happening at the same time. But that is not the case. When we talk about opposite polarity, it means that the other person is going to show something different, something which is opposite of what you possess. That is opposite polarity. So mirroring obviously cannot happen in the same way. So does that mean that when you are in love with your twin flame, they are not in love with you? Very much possible. And when you are out of love from them, when you don't feel it anymore, do they feel it? Very much possible. So this is the theme of this particular channeling, because here the DM, what happened is that he was first playing the game of love and he was love bombing the divine feminine. So much love bombing, it's, a lot of people say that the divine feminines, why do they get gaslighted or why do they get frustrated, is because the divine masculine made her feel that he never really loved her, he never really cared for her. But if you look at all of their previous messages, in case you have not deleted, and I don't want you to go back and read the messages, but if you look at those messages, the messages and the talks are full of love. That's why I use the word love bombing. Okay? So now the divine masculine is realizing and regretting that he wasn't really in love, but he was love bombing her. And now she has really gone so far that she doesn't even give a rat's ass to him. So let's get started. The twin flame doesn't really, or the divine masculine never really uplifts the divine feminine. This is the major reason why the divine feminine feels that, she's suffering or she's in misery. Because what it seemed to her, she thought that she assumed that this person loves me, because all the words were perfect. The words and the, some kind of tone, body language, and in many cases, they were direct words also. The words were perfect. It made her feel like, yes, this man is all about me. But it was only later on when she discovered that his actions don't match the words. And let's remember this always, guys. When someone does something for you, they will show it in their behavior. They will show support to you. They will stand by you when it is the right time. Let me tell you, there is also a backstabbing energy, very strong backstabbing energy, where the divine feminine feels that, and thanks to the divine masculine, she'll also learn something in her life again. She feels that she supported him emotionally, mentally, and she feels that she stood by him, she was loyal to him, she fought with him, fought with him later on, but fought for him. Those of the people who are in a very long, intense, 3D relationship with the twin flame, according to them, they know that they have fought for that man or woman with the family, with the friends, with the whole world, because if not the family, direct family may not have said anything, but a lot of other people would have, noticed it, especially couples and all, that, I don't think your boyfriend is really doing good to you. Maybe it's the birthday of the divine feminine and the DM is like, goes off to sleep at 10, and otherwise he normally wakes up at 2 in the night. Or she doesn't even know what he's doing, he would just say, happy birthday, sweetie, okay, I gotta sleep, I'm not feeling too good today, I'm not feeling well today, I've been going through a lot lately, something like that. And she would be like, okay, being an understanding, loving person, she would be like, all right, no problem. So what, it's my birthday, we'll celebrate again. But if it is some day that he needs celebration, or he needs that type of moral support, and he is not getting it from anywhere else, as much as he tries to show that he is the victim, when he pretends he's the victim for a long time, and the divine feminine always supports him, be it his birthdays or be it some kind of anniversary or be it bad health, be it any kind of issue, financial, mental, emotional, and there is this theme of physical intimacy is always there. They always they always want it, they always make you feel that this is much required from you. So the divine feminine is feeling, she felt very backstabbed, big time, she felt like a huge sword or a dagger. It's like you're humiliated. Publicly you're humiliated in front of so many people. You have taken a stand for this person. You have fought with so many people for this person. You stood by this person, but this person did not stand by you. And forget about standing by you. Not only that, he was rude to you in front of others. He misbehaved with you in front of others. He misbehaved with you in front of his mother or sister or friends or whosoever it was. So that gave her a very big wound. She could not take it anymore. She's like, to hell with this type of love. But he knows how to love bomb her. Whenever she would be like, no, I can't do this. It's just too much for me. Then they would start saying, again, I'm saying they here because there are more cases, many cases. Oh no, I love you so much, sweetie. I'm so sorry, my love. I'm such a bad person. This is a favorite line of most of these people. I'm a very bad person. This is what I am. I can't help it. I'm really bad. I need to be punished. Please punish me. I deserve it. And then they will use some health issue like some stomach upset, some headache, some migraine. They'll say, oh, I've been getting this. Maybe the divine feminine is genuinely going through health diseases, but they are not there at that time. Maybe she's one of the days she really falls sick, she collapses or she faints. She calls him up, she tells him, I'm not keeping well. He would be like, yeah, don't worry, you'll be fine. Very cold response. While you were becoming a teddy bear for this person, you were all over this person, you're visiting this person, going to their house, doing everything. The behavior of the DM changes specifically when he finds another supply. He finds another interesting person, or he's just simply bored of the emotional drama or the expectations that feminine has. They want the person in front of them to always be happy, always sing, always dance. This is a very, very demented and a very, very, it is a privileged society's behavior. When people are in privileged society, or when they are, even if they're not in the society, but individually they're very privileged, then they always expect the other person to always be good to them. Always like a clown, like a joker. Like a clown, keep making them laugh. Keep entertaining them. Don't stop the entertainment. Don't stop the entertainment. You're just born to do that. You're just born to entertain me. If I slap you, if I hit you, if I beat you up also, you must not speak about it. You must not complain about it. So that is the reason why I say that if in your twin flame journey there has been any type of physical abuse, any type of manhandling, any type of behavior where you felt that the other person crossed their boundary by using physical expression or physical strength or something to make you feel like a weak person, that is, even if it is like twisting your arm, even if it is twisting your arm and pushing you against the wall and then laughing at you, when you're trying to struggle, or it's like trying to tell you that, you can't do anything. I am so physically strong in front of you. That's not probably counted under physical violence or beating a person up, And sometimes people do it jokingly also, But if guys, the difference between what I'm saying. But if you know that this is some kind of a mean, sadistic way of making you feel bad, making you feel like a weak person, then you must immediately step out from it. Because this type of thing takes time to heal. Even if your divine masculine is born to love you, even if your twin flame is your mirror, I'll come to the mirroring part also. So in opposite polarity, the mirroring, it happens, but it happens at a different timeline. Like the dark night of the soul, it will not be overlapping. So if the feminine is going through the dark night of the soul, it could be opposite for the divine masculine. This type of love that the divine feminine feels, in fact, in many cases, the awakening of the divine masculine, it happens at a different time. And the awakening of the divine feminine and masculine happens at both different timings for each other. But what is important is that one triggers the other's awakening. till the time, let me tell this to you guys as candidly as I can, till the time the divine feminine does not get fully detached with the masculine, be it 10 years, 12 years, whatever it takes for her to do that, he is not going to awaken. That's why in many cases the twin flame union, the so-called twin flame union, which I don't consider as the union, because that is happening as, you know, as how it is predestined to be. Because it does not mean that if the masculine will awaken, then the feminine will be like, yes, let's get married, let's do this, I'll leave all my things for you, I'll come to you, running to you. The reason why I love the story of Ramayana, and I love the story of Ram and Sita, is because they are, in many ways, they are a healed twin flame couple who was on a mission. And probably the only reason why they could pull off the separation, pull off everything, is because they were on a mission. Sita's mission was to raise the boys, to raise the children and provide the next crown prince, next king for the throne. That was her mission, And Ram's mission was obviously to kill the Ravana, the demon Ravana. And Ravan, I say Ravan, but in English they say Ravana, so I'll say Ravan only. Ram had to kill Ravan. And then later on, after that, whatever happened was the part of their own ascension journey, so that when they go back to their homeland, which is Vaikuntha, that time they are fully healed and the curse is over. So in the life of Ram and Sita also, they were sent on planet Earth because they had a curse. So even if they were married, even if they were loyal, even if they loved each other the most, but they had the curse. The curse of separation from one another. The curse of separation from the one you love. So imagine if such amazing, intelligent, loving, kind-hearted people who are completely focused on the mission, if they can go through separation, and Sita, the goddess, the divine feminine, the purest divine feminine, she did not accept him back. The first time she accepted him back because she felt that, okay, he went through pain and I went through pain and now we are united. But the last time, when she's in the forest and he finds her again, the boys find him again, and there's a whole story about it, the war takes place and this and that. And finally when they're in front of each other, she doesn't even look at him. She only says, here are your sons, here are your boys, the rightful owner or the next kings. I have done my duty, I'm going to my mother. The ground in front of her, it breaks open, cracks open, and Sita's mother is earth itself. She steps out and Sita goes away. And after this, finally Ram realizes his mistake. He realizes that as a king, whatever he did as a king was his duty, was his moralistic duty. And obviously for that reason, even today he is known as the most perfect person, Uttam Purush, or the most selfless king, because he kept his people on top. He's a public servant, so he was like, I'm a public servant. Public servants like kings or prime ministers, presidents, we are not supposed to have, personal life as more important, which is what he proved in that lifetime, and which is why he got ascended. But at the same time, he felt very bad later on because he felt that he did wrong to Sita as well, because Sita was his wife. And when I'm saying wrong, I'm not blaming anyone, okay? It is what their life was destined to be. It is how it was meant to be, because again, they had a bigger purpose of killing the demons. The demons had outgrown in number, and it was descending Treta. In that particular time frame, the demons, it's not the time for demons. For the demons to flourish, it is the dark ages when they flourish the most. But Ravan had some powers, and due to his powers, he became too powerful, and he was destroying everything that nature had created. He was becoming a biggest problem in the creator's world. Or you can say in the creation, he was planning to destroy everything. So that could not have happened, and which is why Ram and Sita, who were Lakshmi and Vishnu, came to planet Earth as human beings. Normally when they get reincarnated, they still have the remembrance and the gifts, but in this case, they dwelled or they lived as ordinary human beings not showcasing any extra power or anything, supernatural abilities and things like that. Definitely, they got those abilities when they were fighting against Ravan. Because to fight against Ravan, Ram also had to awaken his inner source, his inner energy. And also, Ram was a very, very good person. That is what we say. On planet Earth, no one is supposed to be 100% good all the time. One has to be a badass when it is totally required. So, the moral of this example is that Sita, being a divine feminine, divine goddess, reincarnation of Lakshmi, she did not accept, as a queen, she accepted what he did. That is why she did her duty, but as a queen. As a queen, it was important for her to raise the boys and give them the best education. Back in those days, it was the mother who used to be the educator maximum times, because she was in the early years. And then after the age of 12, they would go to the Gurukul. So 12 or 11, but it was always the mother, in childhood. So if the mother is ascended mother, Sita got ascended right there, when she was coming back to Ayodhya. And that's why she could walk on the fire, she could stand in fire, because she got fully ascended at that time. Now, the thing is that when she got ascended, she was obviously loving her husband with all her, everything that she could pour out. But the husband was like, I am a king. For a king, family comes second. The crowd, the people, the ones that I serve are number one. From that perspective, you can't say anything to Ram also, because as a husband, he also suffered during the separation phase. So imagine if gods and goddesses, reincarnated Vishnu and Lakshmi, if they had to face the curse, if they had to face the separation, what is inspiring and what is so amazing about Sita is that she did not get affected by Ram's presence. She showed her self-respect. She was like, don't expect me to prove myself again and again. Don't expect me to prove my love again and again. Don't expect me to prove my innocence. And at that point in time, back in those days, she said this. She stood for the whole womankind actually that time. And she said that why should only women give all the test and proving? Why in this world, why this patriarchy system has grown so much that, even though I have the right to choose my husband in a swamvar, even though I'm doing all of these things, but why do I have to prove my loyalty towards my man? Why isn't my man proving his loyalty? Why can't he stand up? Okay, let him stand up and prove that these boys are not, are his boys only. He should give that, DNA test or whatever. Why should I do that? So this is the reason why she said, no more, no more, no more. I am not going to take it. Because, when Sita, it is said that when Sita was in exile, she was in pure bliss. A lot of people think that Sita was suffering, she was crying, she was in those energies. No. She was actually very happy, because had she not been happy, had she not been in the positive mind frame, she would not have been able to, work on her mission. She lived in the forest, she lived in the Gurukul, she served the people over there also. After leaving the palace, till the time that she went back to her mother, when she got, she was literally swallowed in the ground, but not like swallow, but she just went into the ground in front of so many people. That is the magic, that is the power of Sita. Still, she was like, my self-respect is bigger. As a queen, I will do everything for my mission. But as a wife, it's not acceptable for me. Now, what happens in the love bombing stage also is, now we cannot obviously compare ourselves with Ram and Sita also. First, to be in comparison with them, we need to be like them. Are we that selfless? Are we that loving? Are we that kind-hearted? Are we that mission-oriented? Are we that duty-oriented? Do we feel that our mission is number one? Now, another opposite polarity that has happened in the planet's Earth scheme is that in the previous ages, which is Treta and the Satyug and the even the Dwapar Yug, it was the divine masculine who were the carriers of the mission work. It was the divine masculine who were supposed to do this. But in this timing, which is the ascending time of Dwapar and Treta and Satyug, in this time frame, it is the feminines who have been given the mission work. So you feminines, you are the ones this time who is on mission, not them. So when we say tables have turned, we don't say tables have turned only in this regard, when energy wise the feminine awakens and she grows and she becomes really like amazing, which she hadn't felt like while she was in this dynamic. Throughout the dynamic, it was all about struggle, proving your love, proving your worth, trying to be like, am I good enough or not? And every time you were told you were not good enough. But now, since the era has changed, the ascension is happening in such a way that the divine feminines are the ones who are going to bring the change in this planet. So when someone lets go of a relationship because the mission is important, or when someone feels that the other person is any which way not interested in me, in today's world, the commitment scenarios, the loyalty scenarios are completely different. Back in those days, people, once they used to commit to one person, they would commit to that person totally for the rest of their lives. And if they would have a second wife or more marriages or something like that, then it would be a very open thing. It will not be a secret. All the wives would live happily under one roof and they would accept each other and give each other that respect. If, those type of relationships were prevalent, but they were also prevalent only with kings and people like that, people who have the social influence. But Ram was completely not of this opinion. He was totally committed to Sita and Sita was totally committed to him. So this is the reason why I'm saying that we cannot make that comparison, because we are not like that. We are not born in that era. We don't have that same thing. In the current era, we can see that, okay, the divine masculine is not loyal to the divine feminine. And this whole thing, called love bombing is sort of a manipulation technique which is used by sociopaths and narcissistic people, because they're really, really good in making a person feel and hooked on in the very first go. Like, they are really good with this. Love bombing is not love. It can also be seen as something positive, like, okay, my boyfriend really love bombs me, or my girlfriend love bombs me, or wife or husband, whatever. But in this case, what I'm trying to tell you is that all these phases, like honeymoon phase, or the initial phase, or puppy love, or love bombing, or infatuation, or first love feeling, or teenage romance, or worldwide romance. It's called whirlwind. WHIRLWIND. And it is interesting because a lot of people, this is how they find love. It's like a type of love that will happen very fast, and it will be in a very fast paced scenario. Everything will happen in just a day or two, and there is a lot of infatuation. This is the type of romance where you don't pay attention to your feelings. You find maybe a physical and emotional connection, and such a strong connection it is. It's like two people meet and for the first time, and they just get into it. This is a similar thing he does with the karmic also, or the karmic does with him. Because in case of the karmic situation, it's the karmic who is the psychopath, or the even you can say that they meet their own match also. The divine feminine basically learns this difference, this big difference, that love is something that takes time to develop, and there is no obsession in love, and you need to listen to your intuition. You need to give attention to how you're feeling. You need to know if this is genuine feeling or this is just coming out from this type of a behavior pattern. All the gifts, all the compliments, all the presents, because in the initial phase, the amount of attention that the DM gives to the divine feminine, she has never received that amount of attention, that amount of affection, that amount of, someone is literally following her everywhere, every single mood of hers, every single thing she does, everything is acceptable and even acknowledged. In fact, when this love bombing phase gets over, which is a false showcasing of these type of feelings, the person, the divine masculine or the borderline narcissistic person or whatever, again, not trying to show that you are the victim, but if this situation is happening with you, then you have to accept it, no matter who says what on the internet. The biggest thing is that you are going through this feeling, and once that phase is over, the person, the narc or the DM or whosoever, will then start to devalue you, and they will openly abuse you. And when you say, hey, you used to love me so much, you were this or you were that, what is wrong with you, why are you treating me like this, what have I done? And they would be like, oh, it's all because of you, I did not even know that you're like this, I did not know. So then also you will be feeling, as if something is definitely wrong with me, or I have to keep up to something, I have to match up to his expectations, I have to make him happy. But literally what I'm going to tell you in this channeling is that it's simply acting nice in the beginning. That is not love. Love is a test of time. Love is a test of emotions. And if in this test of love, if your DM has failed miserably, then it is the time for you. This is exactly what the energy is, that the divine feminine has moved out. And now this masculine, after all these years and this channeling is specifically for people who have been in this journey for quite some time. Okay. This will not apply for people who are just fresh in the journey. So the divine masculine is in a very, very, in a state where he is feeling that awakening moments, and he is realizing, when a person goes to a, say, psychologist, maybe he goes to a therapist. Okay. And the therapist tell him that, this is what this behavior means about his karmic. Okay. So the karmic is acting like a psychopath, or she's acting like a neurotical person who has all these mental problems and things like that. When he says these things, and the therapist or the doctor or wherever he's reading it, maybe he's doing some kind of a crash course, or I don't know what he's doing, but that is not clear. But whosoever explains it to him, or whichever way he finds out, he realizes that there's a lot of similarity in the karmic's behavior and his behavior towards the DF. Maybe with the karmic he's really nice. Maybe he did fall in love with the karmic. He had to experience this. He had to experience what he did to the divine feminine via this experience only. The experience that the karmic gives him, the taste of his own bitter medicine. But during that time, the divine feminine should stay away from this situation. If she is going to keep messaging him, keep calling him, he will never be able to focus on what's happening on his life. He'll keep thinking, oh, there's a lady who's so crazy for me, still calling me, messaging me, following me despite all my bad behavior. Oh, I must be really good. So he'll keep getting the ego massage from the divine feminine. Now here I would also like to give a reality check to the feminines, because when the feminines also go through their awakening process, the opposite polarity will make it happen whenever it is meant to happen as per divine timing, not as per divine feminine, but as per divine timing, because maybe the divine masculine has certain curses, and it was your shared curse that you had to meet him, you had to know him, and now you have released your curse, you have worked on your curse. So when you work on your curse, you're not going to feel any love towards the divine masculine. You'll not feel the same anger, you'll not feel the same frustration, and you yourself will be very surprised that the same person because of which I could not sleep in the nights, because of him I could not eat my food, I was so thin, I was so unhealthy, I was so weak, my life was getting over. Now the same person doesn't even matter in my reality, in my scheme of things. I'm so happy on my own. That is her awakening. After her awakening, after her realization, or during her realization, then she realizes that my life on planet Earth has a value, has worth. And unlike other people, she chooses a path, a very unique path of a mission, where she wants to dedicate the whole of her life or the rest of her life. Even if she's doing for 2 people or 3 people, but she's like, I will do this for the rest of my life, because I have learned that this is unconditional love. This is true love. This is pure love. That love is not in, having sexual exchange, being in bed with someone. I did not feel that love. I gave my body, I gave my soul, I gave my mind, I gave my heart, I gave my everything. Yet I was backstabbed, yet I was in pain, yet I was never supported, yet I was only told that something is wrong with me, I'm not good enough. So now I'm done with it. And whenever the time is right, the divine masculine will go through the same feeling that what I'm right now currently understanding or going through or last few years, whatever I've put my life, my heart and soul, my body into, that is not true love. He feels this really great amount of respect for the feminine. He feels, even though she may not be with him, she may not give him that attention, or she'll be like, no, I'm not interested in a relationship. I don't want to do this. I'm already happy with my life. Maybe I'm with someone. I'm sorry, that boat has sailed, things like that. But he still has a lot of respect for her, because he realizes that the person who he thought, was not good enough or good for nothing actually. She is the person who has a stronger character, a real character and a genuine personality. And I am the one who has missed it out. It was all me. So that feeling this is the whole energy is all about that. Thank you so much for being here with me. One love and peace out.